all levels of obedience: the normal pace, the fast pace, the slow pace, at least one right turn and one left turn, at least one about turn, and at least one halt. The normal pace should be brisk, but natural walking pace for the handler. The dog may either be walking or trotting depending on the size of the dog and the speed of the handler. The fast pace should be an obvious increase from the normal. The handler should run. The dog should either be trotting fast or galloping. The slow pace should be an obvious decrease in speed from the normal. The dog should be walking. The turns should be executed in a natural, non-military style, but not a large, arching turn. The about turn should be done as a hairpin turn without stopping or hesitating in the turn. The dogs will need to speed up to get around the handler as they turn in order to stay in heel position. The handler must never adapt to the dog. It is the dog's job to maintain heel position. Drop-on recall exercise in movement is when performing the drop-on recall exercise, the dog must come to the handler when called from across the ring, and on the handler's command or signal, drop into a down position immediately, and then on command or signal from the handler, resume coming to it, stop and sit in front, and then finish to the heel position upon command. When the dog drops, it must lie all the way down in order to qualify. On most recalls, retrieves, and jumps, there is a front and a finish. A front is when the dog comes in after a recall, a retrieve, or a jump, and sits in front of the handler. To be without fault, the dog should be lined up perfectly in the front of the handler with the head and body. He should be close without touching, and he should sit quickly upon arrival. The dog should stay right there until the handler commands either by voice or signal for the dog to go to heel position. On all recalls, retrieves, and jumps, there is a finish, which is when the dog returns to the heel position. That is the final act in all of these exercises. This will be followed by the judge saying, "Exercise finished." There are two ways a dog can return to finish. The around finish is where the handler can choose to send the dog to their right and around behind them so it ends up on their left side in heel position. The handler may use a verbal or a hand signal to tell the dog to finish. The swing finish is executed by the handler verbally or with a signal, sending the dog around to their left, when the dog will return promptly and end up on the handler's left in heel position. Either style is acceptable but must be executed promptly and must result in the dog ending up in a perfect heel position. The leaping that you might see is not typically penalized as long as the dog does not bump the handler, as it shows joy and enthusiasm.
Attention.